when you set the son of slavery and sent him into the United Nations, and he is not just a general, he's standing on the authority of a whole enslaved people. That's why the world listened to him a little bit. And he went there, and I want to be right with this brother. I mean, I want to help me, Holy Ghost. He bartered away years of slavery, because that's the power he had. It wasn't that he was a general. There are plenty of generals. It wasn't that he was the Secretary of State. He was a black man tied to slavery. And that unearned suffering, and if it be true, as Dr. King said, that unearned suffering has power itself, there's a redemptiveness to it. Nobody else could stroll into the United Nations and make the claim that he made and get some kind of listening, some kind of audience for it. And so I'm saying that that reflects something about us that we need to attend to. And it's white people, black people, it's all of us. And so I want to say that when we were murdered in Greensboro, and then that community, I wouldn't say it to you if it weren't true, was able to see people shot down in broad daylight with a parade permit, with the police gone to lunch. And how do you convince a community like that that what you saw you really didn't see? That something else altogether happened, and then exempt all of the shooters and let them walk free. And to put, at one point, the Klan was in jail on the $50,000 bond, and I, who shot nobody, hit nobody, was myself stabbed, was put in jail under a $115,000 bond. That reflects a collective mentality of a people. And when you can push people into that direction in one city, you've got the possibility of pushing them in that direction in the whole nation. And so don't you see the need for the internal work? The work of actually facing our deceptive, lying history that gives us a false sense of who we are. I think that that's a priority in the work that we do. And of course, all of that attaches itself to economic justice. And just let me say a word about building a youth movement. You know, sometimes you just have to do things differently. We have an open table, and every Wednesday, anybody in the community who wants to come can come and say anything you want to say, and you won't get thrown out. You even get listened to. So this brother strolled in one day and said that my name is King J, and I'm the inker of the almighty Latin king and queen nation. I had never heard of the almighty Latin king and queen nation, and I didn't have a clue what inker meant. He said that I have 500 nation members. They understood as a gang all over North Carolina. And he came in and said, I'm tired of listening to this discussion about how mean and bad and evil we are. He said, I want to stand for peace. And so I said, beautiful. I want you to stand for peace. That night I got a call from him, and he said that I need spiritual counseling. I was totally surprised. And so it was about 11:30. So I said, can this wait till tomorrow? He said, really, if you could, I'd like to talk tonight. And so I asked him to meet me at the church, and he came over. And he said that the police have been going around to people on their jobs who are part of my organization and saying that they have a parade, they have a warrant for my arrest. And they have gone to homes of people. Now you have to imagine what a Latino brother or sister feels like with the police coming to their home and coming on their jobs. That's a threat built into that, just to have them around like that. And so I asked him, why are they doing it? And he said, because I announced in the Spanish paper what I said in your meeting today. And ever since then, they have been lined up against me. And so I said, what is the charge? They said that I'm charged with communicating a threat to a police officer. And so I said, well, did you? He said, no, I really didn't. And we talked about it. I'll spare you the details. But we agreed. I said, well, why is it so urgent? He said, because I have 2 little girls. Most people don't realize. And I don't want these people coming and kicking my door in the middle of the night. So I didn't exactly know what to do, which is not unusual. But we thought about it together, and we concluded, why don't we go to them? Okay, it's midnight. Let's go down there and ask them to serve the warrant. I have enough standing around here. I can get a bondsman to get you out. And so we went down, and they searched the record. There was no warrant. It didn't exist. And day after day, people in this group were beat up, where they were arrested, they were maligned and mistreated. And so that was the opportunity to stand with them. And at the point that somebody else is abused and mistreated, that's the most important time to stand with them. And by the way, it's the most difficult time. It's easy to stand with somebody in an intellectual discussion. It's easy to stand with people when they are doing all right and nobody, but when somebody has decided that they are going to demonize somebody and that they are going to use them as justification to turn black groups, youth groups against Latino groups and black people against Latino people, you have to stand with them. And when I stood with them, I invited them to come to church. And then my members called me into session to give an explanation. And of course, I was ready to give one, because there's something in our faith that says that you ought to stand with people like this, and people are going to be demonized. And why would they catch the leader of our faith and catch him at midnight and put him on trial before daylight and lynch him before the end of the next day? I said, that's the tradition that you stand in. And so what I'm saying to you, that's what they're doing to them now. And I want to go ahead and draw this out. It actually has led to a flurry of activity and meetings at A&T. And A&T is, whoever is an Aggie in here is rumbling again. And they were over there the other night. And now I met with the agricultural department over there. They have no work. They're putting them out of their job. They want to work. And they're putting out of jobs. And black folk don't have any work. And so we met with the ag department. And now we have a plan to take that land at A&T, which is out there on their farm, and to actually begin to grow some stuff. And so you've got preachers, gang members, black gang members, and university professors getting ready to enter into a collective enterprise to grow some crops on that ground and to sell it and to do something creative. Now, it's not the solution to everything, but it's an opening that came because we were open to an opening. And I want to say that that's what I think we have to at least be open to. Let me just say, finally, that, that we're in electoral campaign, and I would not be faithful to my own beliefs if I didn't have some words to say about it. Our dear brother, Barack Obama, I have enormous respect for him, and I have a bit of sympathy for the predicament that he's in, because you know and I know that he cannot, nor can the Democratic Party, nor can the ruling class that it represents, solve the enormity of this problem that we're faced with. And yet it is a right thing and a courageous thing to do, to run for the President of the United States. Somebody said they stood in the line, they were number 28. We fought for Sunday voting, thought that this would be a day that we could get in and get out. And I stood in the line for 2 hours and 10 minutes because there was something in people called hope, something in people called believing beyond myself. I was standing with a homeless guy. I knew him, and he had never voted in his life. He was 46 years old. And I asked him, I said, well, when you finish voting, and if he wins, how do you think this will translate in terms of whether you'll get a house or get a job? He said, I don't know. He said, but there's something in me that says that I have never voted and I want to vote because he's a black man. And that's powerful and beautiful and dangerous. It's all of that, isn't it? Can we be candid here today? And so we all went in and voted. And